How are you guys? How are you all handling the heat?
I hate it.
Yep, that seems to be a universal answer.
I
That's basically
am
it.
melting.
Yeah, I've got
I
a
put-
big thing of ice, a big thing of water with ice in front of me. So I've got a drink, and the ice has already gone.
I'm okay. I'm
I've
not.
got
I'm not comfortable.
Yeah,
but I'm not.
what's the problem, Will?
I've got a big thing of water and ice in front of me, otherwise known as a drink.
Don't be a smart ass. Okay, no
Are
one
you
likes a
okay?
smart
The
ass.
heat is getting to you, isn't it?
I think
I
my
had
my
a-
brain is on fire.
I had a slushy today, and it was pure sugar and pure ice, and I was like, I wept with tears of joy.
Did you make it, or did
I-
you buy it?
I bought it. I ain't making no slushy.
Oh no, I was saying a while back. I've been making loads of like Coca-Cola slushies and things like that, and they're really good. They're really like dangerous though, because you put ice cream in them and you put like a bunch of alcohol in it, and it's like, oh,
You
need to eat
3 or
the
4 of them, 3 or 4 won't hurt.
We need to eat the rich. You have too much money. You're like, I'm making Coca-Cola
Did you,
slushies.
Steve? Did you learn the phrase "eat the rich" this week? Because I've seen you say it like
I know.
I've
I've said it at least. I say it a lot this week, but I've said it for months. I just find it funny because I'm in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, eat the rich could be.
You must be
Like-
not like a bit of a personal attack, but you must be really poor if ice and Coca-Cola is
Please,
rich.
please, someone give me money.
Steve, this is not your platform to beg for money. I'm afraid we're not doing that.
Oh shit.
All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game FourCast. We're here for another week to talk about what we've been playing and all the news stories that we have found. My name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks. I'm here with Will Olivemeister
Hello, my name is Will or Olivemeister. It's too hot.
and Steve Quikwix.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I am so hot, and also
Sam
the temperature is quite warm today.
and Sammeh.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I was going to make a very similar joke to Steve, and now I feel bad because that's never good.
Oh boy, yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to step on Steve's
Oh.
toes. Yeah.
If you see yourself imitating Steve, reevaluate.
Yeah, you don't want to be this mess.
Right, so we did say, I think it was either during the week or on the last show, we were going to do a little bit of a TV bit.
Yeah, last show you guys set homework for yourselves to watch TV.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
So let's.
Did we all do it?
No.
Okay, so what? Okay, moving on.
All right, next week.
Okay, we'll go one by one to work out what people have watched. Okay, so Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Done. 6 out of 6.
I'm 6 out of 6. Steve
6 out of 6.
and Sam.
Please exclude me from all TV.
I was going to say, should we
Don't-
just? Sam,
yeah.
do you
don't
want to just go
watch.
make a sandwich or something? Come back in what, an hour?
The
Half
funny
an
thing
hour?
is I'm interested, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't sit down and watch TV like I used to.
What you need to do, Sam, is just when you're playing an idle game, just watch
I don't play those
Obi-Wan
at
on the other
moment.
screen. Oh, okay, that's fair.
Wait, Sam's not playing idle games, and he
No.
was going to make a pervert joke.
Sam's playing active games.
He's changing.
Sam's not playing idle games. The
New
world
job,
is
mate.
melting.
New job, new me.
New job, you me. Who dares? Okay, so Obi-Wan is fine. I think Stranger Things as well. Are we all?
Yep.
9 out of
9.
9.
Yep, watched it, completed it, mate.
Completed it. And then I know for a fact this one isn't complete
Yeah.
for Steve. So The Boys has finished.
0 out of 8 for me. I had a
0 out
rough
of 9
weekend. I was
now.
like, I was like, oh no, boys might be a bit too.
Oh,
too
we can't talk
intense.
about the boys. Oh,
We can
I
talk
want to
about
talk
it
about
next
the
week.
boys.
Oh, if the final episode came out yesterday or something, it's kind of fair to give people a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm sick
time, I
of
guess.
sitting on my feelings for a month and getting, or a week and getting, I'll see other people
Mellowing
talking
out.
about it. Yeah, mellowing out. Yeah, I want to come in hot. I
Oh.
watched Obi-Wan an hour ago. That's my dedication.
Yes,
To this
Steve. Why didn't you watch
show.
the entirety of The Boys an hour ago?
That was sad.
I also want to talk about Umbrella Academy. I watched all of that. It's
I
great.
have not.
God damn it.
God damn it. Well, we can at least do Obi-Wan and Stranger Things. I think what I will say about The Boys, without spoiling that, is that show is amazing. I love that show so much.
Only heard good things.
That show is great. I didn't feel much for the finale of this season, but I guess we can talk about that next week.
It does, again, without spoiling anything, the boys in the finale does a few things, which a lot of them, it's not like a plot hole, but it's like simple problems could be fixed if you say, why doesn't that person just do that? It's like,
Yes.
dancing around this a lot for Steve. The entirety of like a final fight in the boys could be fixed by saying, hey, you over there, leave. do you know what I'm referring to, Will?
Kind of. Kind of.
Because it's going to be a big fight, and then the whole fight stops because someone arrives.
Is it like in an anime where two guys get into an anime fight and you're like, man, if one of them just said 3 words to the other guy,
Basically,
we wouldn't be here.
they're all about...
It's a little more complicated. It's more like the whole season is building to something, and then something very manageable happens, and then it doesn't happen.
Right.
The big thing doesn't happen, and it's like, okay, this is awkward.
Yeah.
But we can talk about it next week. We can
We'll do it next
all
week.
in.
Okay, so let's start
Apologies
with...
again.
I'm going to bring up... Let's get Job Centre plus Boris Johnson off the screen.
Very funny image I saw this week.
Really
Yes.
like that. I'm not going to talk about politics because it's been done to death at this point, at least in this country.
Yeah.
But Boris is looking for a job if you have one available.
Yeah, if you know any places. Let's bring up Obi-Wan Kenobi. So there's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, very short and sweet.
Bring up this lovely picture of Ewan McGregor.
Mhm.
Right, so bottom line, rate it out of 10. The whole series. Oh, but by the way, we're going to spoil the shit out of Obi-Wan Kenobi, by the way. Anyone listening right now.
Yeah. And also, you shouldn't care. It like
It's not. It's,
the show spoils itself by being about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right, Will, rate the whole series out of 10.
What? Just like, I don't know. I haven't thought of this. The whole season up until the last 2 episodes is like a 4,
Yeah.
maybe a 5, and then the last 2 is like a cool 7, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 6, maybe 8, depending on how you feel about Star Wars right now.
What about you, Steve?
Oh, I would say similar. Like 4 out of 5 for 4 out of 10 for the show as like a show, but a 6 out of 10 for like some of like the stupid shit that I like because it's stupid and dumb.
I'm gonna rate the whole thing a cool 5 out of 10. I think, yeah. You go ahead.
Well, that's my problem with it is it's so safe. The whole show is so safe. It doesn't. It's like it's Star Wars has been on such a roller coaster with these last couple things that have come out. It feels like they were like, we're not gonna try anything. We're going to just tell an extremely safe story with all characters that you like. And exactly what you think is going to happen is going to happen.
They couldn't deviate too much though because it's a series set between 2 films. There's like we know what happens beforehand, we know what happens afterwards.
But that's my biggest problem with it is there's zero stakes.
Showed up.
Darth Maul, yeah, maybe, yeah.
That's a canon thing. Darth Maul survives.
No, yeah, but
he'll be in season 2.
He's in a pit. He's in a pit for like 10 years, isn't he?
Oh wait, does he survive?
Darth Maul?
Darth Maul,
How do we know this?
He becomes a spider. I'm not even joking.
No, he becomes a spider.
It's in the Clone Wars animated TV show.
Oh, I've not watched any of that.
Neither have I, but if you go on YouTube and just type in Darth Maul, it's a bit of a fun, like 10-minute watch of just watching Darth Maul in a big pit going Kenobi as a big mechanical spider.
do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of in one of Will's streams, they were talking about Shelob and how she eventually becomes a sexy girl in one of the games or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah. That's in the Mordor of War games.
Shadow of War? Mordor of War? Shadow of Wardor?
Wardor Returns? I don't know.
Wardor Yordor?
Yeah, whatever that game is called. Yeah.
I think the way I would describe this show is probably the worst thing, the way you could describe a show, which is it's just boring. It's just it's really boring.
Oh, yes. It's really because there's no stakes because everybody who you care about cannot die and they sort of start in the same place as where they are in the film in episode 4, which is, they establish early on that you meet baby Leia, and she is already just Leia but 10, and he's like, "Oh, you're very verbose for a child," and it's like, so she's basically already there. So nothing really happens to any of these characters, and the characters they do introduce, they don't like. There's no chemistry. I don't like any of them particularly.
Yeah.
I thought the Sith woman was just really boring. She had like no arc until the very last episode.
I didn't know what happened with her at the end. Like,
she gets stabbed.
What, did you
and
not
then
watch it, or
no, I did, but it just was confusing because like her reason for being in the whole show is like, is to like kind of confront Vader.
Well, she's a youngling that survives Order 66 and gets turned to the dark side. But
it's all part of her master plan to kill Darth Vader.
But then she fails, and then she goes to kill Luke. But she's like, I can't do that, because I assume she wants to kill Luke to be like, "Oh, Darth, you had a son, but I've killed him already." And then she's just like, I can't do it, and then just, okay, I'm gone, bye.
I think her character, full stop, wasn't very good. I think the biggest thing I was confused at was just how she was stabbed and left for dead, and then she's literally just up and walking like the start of the next episode.
It's magic.
Well, it happens twice because she stabs the Inquisitor guy right through the chest, and then you're like, oh, okay, she betrayed. He's the funnest character in the show, but fine, she betrayed him and killed him. Yeah. And then he comes back, stabs her in the chest, and leaves. And then I'm like, oh, poetic justice. She tried to stab him and failed, so now he's done it right, because he's the better Sith.
Yeah.
Nope, she also is fine. So it's like, why are all these people getting stabbed with lightsabers and then just like walking it off?
Does no one double tap anymore?
I will say I do like her character, but I don't. Yeah, she just had no like lasting story. It felt like
I liked the idea of her character, but all she did was just show up and like be mad. Like she didn't really do anything. I way prefer even the guy who shows up who gets stabbed. And then he comes back and he's like, revenge is a wonderful motivator. And I was like, this guy should have been the whole show. I would have watched a whole show about this guy. Yeah.
I've seen so many memes of him like being, cut out, like rotoscoped out of that scene. And just putting other scenes being like, hello, goodbye.
Which guy? Is this the guy with the hat? Or the guy that gets stabbed early on?
The guy that gets stabbed early on. Yeah, Grand Inquisitor. Okay. The guy with the stripes on his head, basically.
He's got the weirdest.
Because I've watched episode 2 and 3.
That's really specific.
I was forced to,
but not number 1.
That guy that gets stabbed. Yeah.
Another thing that I found weird was they got back the actor for Anakin. I can't remember his name. Christian something, right?
Oh I can't remember his name. I should know it, but I can't remember his name.
They got him back for like playing like a scene where he's a teenager again. And he A does not look like a teenager. You could tell he is aged. And B, it just seemed a bit pointless. It was just like, oh, he's there to be like, oh look, he's in this as well. But he didn't really add any.
No, that scene was mimicking
meaningful context.
Parts of the up-to-date lightsaber fight, wasn't it?
It was mimicking that, and like kind of like going into like, oh, I know that Vader's going to be aggressive because he was aggressive in this fight, but it just I would have liked more like a more meaningful
because
nugget of information.
Because even I ended up quite enjoying the finale, but the ultimate fight is like you have to buy that these people really like each other, and you kind of don't like. Because he, the whole show is about Obi-Wan being sad that he made, or finding out that he made Darth Vader, and then ultimately being like, no, you didn't do this. Sort of this, it's been done to me almost.
Yeah.
And part of that is like the emotional like payoff to the build-up is like these people were supposed to be the best friends. He said, I like a brother, I loved you, but like I don't really buy it. And I thought this show would be a good way to like Steve said in the flashbacks, like make us like these characters being friends more, because you don't ever really see it,
I think the idea is supposed to be it's said at the end where it's supposed to be Darth Vader is never going to be like, oh, I do kind of like you still because Anakin is dead, right? It's all Darth Vader.
Yeah, but I think as Will said, like we don't get that thing of did he like him? Like even in the movies, there was like a little bit of a buddy relationship, but they were butting heads a lot.
Exactly, yeah. Like they kind of look like they just annoyed each other a lot, you know. Like they have that big speech about how they, oh, I loved you like a brother, but you don't ever really see it in the films or this show. And I feel like cut out all the other characters that don't matter, and you could have explored that like relationship a bit better.
I think that, and this is like, it's not an excuse because it's kind of it shouldn't be essential, but I've heard that a lot of people say that the animated shows add a lot to this era of Star Wars.
Yeah, but I don't
Everyone
want to watch
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to either.
Yeah,
but I have heard that from a lot of people. Apparently, it adds a lot to Anakin's character as well, which is pretty cool. I think they're all on Disney Plus. There's just a lot of it.
Yeah. There's even someone linked me a picture of like recommended watching order where you can cut out all the ones that are like, this is the one for the children, and you can ignore this one because it doesn't mean anything or go anywhere. It's like a one-off. And then here's the important episodes that you can watch.
This one's not just for the men, but the women and the children.
Oh, damn it.
Wait, Star Wars has women in it? I've never noticed any.
No. They all die.
They're all dead. But yeah, I think if anyone is kind of interested in this, just watch the last episode. That's the best episode.
You kind of can. Maybe the last two.
The last episode contains everything that you want from this show, which is just Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I will say I went on like an emotional roller coaster with Leia. First of all, being like, why is she so sassy and outrunning grown men? To being like, oh yeah, I like it when she sasses everyone.
No, I didn't like her character really. No offense to like
her.
child actors.
She was fine. She was fine. Like I think she did an alright job, but yeah, I didn't like her character.
It's like
she didn't need to be in it.
She didn't need to be.
No one needed to be in it apart from Obi-Wan and Darth Vader.
just watch the last episode. I'm telling you, seriously. You come into this thinking like, oh, surely Anakin is going to fight Darth Vader, right? All the promotional material was Darth Vader standing close to Anakin and stuff. And it takes him so long to get to it.
You don't need to watch any of this, do you?
Sorry, Kenobi.
Like so far, we don't know of any characters that are important from this that will be in other series or shows. It feels
but
like
I don't care.
But it feels like we don't need to watch any of this. You could just forget it even exists.
Well,
and you'll probably be fine.
That's the problem with the show. Ultimately, it doesn't. It feels like all the other extra Star Wars stuff, like the Solo movie and stuff, where it's like it doesn't matter. You don't, it's not even that fun of a ride, and it doesn't need watching if you're into Star Wars.
I enjoyed The Mandalorian. Boba Fett I could have passed, but I enjoyed that it extended the Mandalorian story. And then we're getting I can't remember her name, the alien woman Jedi series as well is coming up. That is continuing on. That one. Yeah, that's continuing on from that. I enjoyed that. Like Marvel. Star Wars. TV series lore section, but the Obi-Wan just felt completely separate even from that.
It feels like trying to do to that what they do with all the Marvel stuff, right? Where they want 50 million different movies and TV shows that are all intertwined. And remember this character from Obi-Wan? Now they're over here, and it's just like I don't really care about it in that way.
They just don't do a good enough job making me like all of the characters that they introduce.
Yeah.
Enough that I'm like, oh, I want to find out how this guy's story, like that, what's her name? Reva, the evil Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is she being primed for her own show? Because she's kind of out in the wild now, and it's like, I don't like her. Yeah, probably, but I don't really care.
I look at this the same way I look at like the DC Zack Snyderverse. Where no offense to people that like that, because I know people do like it, but it's like, oh, look at Wonder Woman and Superman, and now we've got the Justice League. They're all together, and I don't care.
I've not watched a single DC movie for years.
It's like these whole
You're not really missing out.
These whole multiverse things and cross media thingies only work ultimately if the shows and movies are good.
Yeah.
I think they've done, like, again, Marvel has been knocking it out in the park for a lot of their series. There are some which are a bit iffy, but a lot of it is like, oh yeah, you'll still watch the iffy ones because you're like, well, there might be something to do with the other series that I do like.
Yeah.
Star Wars is trying that, and as I said, I like the Mandalorian one so far, like that, like section. But yeah, this Obi-Wan one just didn't do it for me.
We'll move on. We'll move on from that then. I think we'll
So Kumail Nanjiani was still great. He was my favorite character.
Yeah, but he just plays himself. It's
Yeah,
cheating.
I know. But it was like, he turned up and like the whole like guy pretending to be a Jedi but actually still helping people. I was like,
Yeah.
what a character.
Yeah.
And then he gets dunked on because he's utterly useless.
They should have made him a droid. That they always put the comedians as droids playing themselves, but it's, at least then it's acceptable because you're not seeing their faces.
Right, I'm gonna hard swerve into Stranger Things. So we'll go from this to that. This is now the spoiler warning for Stranger Things, because I'm pretty sure as soon as I even Google this, there'll be spoilers everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's your warning for that. Let's bring up a little image for that. This one looks good. Yeah, I like the look of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, we'll do the same thing. Like, in terms of a show or like a series, how would you rate Stranger Things for Steve out of 10?
8 out of 10. I'd say for me, it's season 1, 4, 3, 2 is the order of how I enjoyed Stranger Things. Well, of goodness to Stranger Things.
Yeah, what you will.
Yeah, I'm with Steve. Like 8 or 9, I reckon.
I would give
like
this
very slow, but
yeah.
But ultimately, it kind of just doesn't feel that slow when you're watching it. I don't know. It's difficult to describe. It's like I think it outstays its welcome in places, but also I was never really bored. I was always engaged the whole time.
There are a couple of sections I was bored in.
Yeah,
I really like this season. I think this is the best season in my opinion.
Season 1 was so magical.
Season, yeah.
Oh no, season 1 was so magical, and so like I was starting to rewatch it before season 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is top tier. It brought me back the goosebumps from watching it the first time. It's like you can't, like, this was like that pure mystery that was missing from 2 and 3. 4 brought it back a little bit, but 1 to me is still the pinnacle.
I don't really remember season 1, if I'm being honest.
You should go back and watch it. It's
I might try it again.
Like the whole Winona Ryder with the lights, like, she's playing like this manic mum who can't find it. It's so good. Yep. And now everyone's just like, oh, we're on an adventure. And everyone's like, oh yeah, we're dealing with our problem. And the Russia stuff I could have cut out.
I do think in season 4, out of all that, because there's like 4 or 5 different things happening at once at some points. I think the Russian bit was the least interesting.
Oh, no way.
Really?
I think you cut. I couldn't stand it. Anytime 11 came back on the scene, I was like reaching for my phone. That was really boring for me.
Yeah.
Is like because I feel like her character, her story in every season is like she has her powers or she doesn't have her powers or she's trying to figure out how to use her powers. And then it's like, I like all the drama between the characters, and then you cut to 11 and it's like, she's doing lab stuff again. And that did come together in the end with 11 and 1, but it took so long to get there. Every single episode would just grind to a halt so we could watch 11 climb into that salt bath again.
the problem ultimately,
to think about labs.
With her character, ultimately, the problem is that she's too strong, right? She is the strongest character. And if you get her from A to B, that's the show over. So every season feels like it needs some sort of way.
Her story has to spin
away.
its wheels.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about that. And I thought, the culmination of her story in this one with her learning about her, like the twist about 1 and her dad dying ultimately was kind of that sort of relationship, like leaving it kind of unresolved, was like interesting. But yeah, getting to it was a real. So you guys didn't like the Russia stuff though?
I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was the least interesting out of everything going on.
It felt like everyone else was kind of dealing with the supernatural stuff, and the Russia stuff was separate. And then at the very end, they kind of like forced it in there, like to like they were dealing with just Russian prison stuff, like normal stuff. Then at the end, it's like, oh wait, we got upside down stuff, and them doing something there actually helps the kids, even though they don't know,
Yeah, I was within the camp that I think most people were, which is whenever there wasn't Vecna spooky shit happening with the main cast, I'm like, can we just have more of that?
More Vecna, yeah.
I did really enjoy that, yeah. But I also liked, I think the Russian guy.
Yuri.
I thought he was fun.
Yeah.
Even if he was a bit much at times, but he was really fun. I think. And then it's like, David Harbour and the Russian guy were really fun to watch interact.
It took me.
Murray was great with his karate. I really enjoyed it.
It took me ages to remember what that guy was from, but he played. He was in Game of Thrones. The Russian guy.
Yeah, he's the faceless man.
Faceless
isn't he?
man. Yeah. I was like, where do I know your face, but I'm not sure what you're from. Are you in Lord of the Rings or something? Like, what are you from?
Yeah.
I had to really think then, because when you say he was that faceless guy, I remember your face. I was like, right, hold on.
But I think overall, my favorite character this season has to be Max. She was a big focus of this season, and I loved the running up that hill bit. I have listened to that song several times since.
I've killed that song for myself now.
I've gone. Everyone's sleeping on Journey. The Separate Ways song. Go ruin that one next.
Yeah. But I do think it's a shame how it ended this season.
Oh, how so?
Because it definitely felt like it was like this is the first time in Stranger Things where it's like there's definitely going to be a season
5.
Because this is the most this is just part 1 of this story, and it just felt like Max, my favorite character, is now basically out of commission, and it's like okay.
Yeah.
So is 11?
Yeah, her ending was awful for this season. It was terrible.
Is 11 just God? Like what's up with that?
Apparently,
she's reviving people now.
I guess. I don't know.
Because
it's like you said, it's like she's kind of all powerful at this point.
Yeah, she was running around doing psychic stuff, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then Max dies, and 11 goes to her and literally says no, and she doesn't die. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. But she's not in a good place either.
Yeah.
She's not in a happy place at the end of the season.
And
I thought that because someone said to me, Stranger Things is supposed to be 5 parts, and I thought that they meant 4 part 1 and 2 counted.
Oh no, there's a whole
series.
Yeah,
this was a finale. So I was like, this is a great ending, all the way through, and they're playing. What was that? Sort of running up that hill, and there's the culmination of all the people apart, but they're all working together, and they're all important, sort of thing. And I was like, this is a great finale. And then it just sort of isn't a finale. It just sort of is like, nope, see you next season. Out of nowhere. It was weird.
One thing I was so confused about was they dealt with Vecna in the Upside Down.
Yes.
Flamethrowed him, he fell through the floor.
Yeah.
They had to leave that building, walk past him. They should have seen if he was.
No, they show
away.
He's not there.
Yeah. Come on, Steve.
Oh, did he? I must have.
So they flamethrower him, and he gets shotgunned out the window. And then when they go outside, there's like a little flaming patch on the floor where he landed.
Where he was,
but he's not there. Yeah.
So fan here, sorry.
I mean, it was always going to be, whenever this show does end, it was always going to be, what's it called? The Void, whatever. The Faceless Void, whatever. Was going to be the final boss. Because that is...
But I thought they were revealing, he's been behind it all. Because it, ties it sort of neatly around to the, 11 and her origins are the cause of all this, and by her killing one, well, that ends it,
Well, no, because one gets his powers from the faceless
some of his
thing.
powers, yeah.
What's it called? Hang on. Stranger
They call it the Mind
Mind
Flayer.
Flayer?
Mind Flayer.
in-
That's it. Yeah. The Mind.
Oh,
the Mind
I thought
Flayer
it was under his control.
No, the Mind Flayer gives him power. That's how he gets his Vecna power.
Right. Okay.
And
What's
then-
the dust then? That they point out once.
That's
and
not.
never mention
That's
again.
not, that's not really explained.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because
So-
there was a line. Is it David Harbour or something? And he goes, "It's where's the dust?" And he goes, "It's in them." And then they never explain that, and it doesn't seem
Yeah,
to
there's like
do anything.
there's
And I
like
was
a-
like, "What's he talking about?"
There's a test tube as well with some stuff in it that's never really
Yeah.
with the dust. I think.
Yeah,
So it's,
yeah.
it's season 5 shenanigans.
Season, I
maybe.
guess season 5 stuff. Yeah.
I-
But
I will-
I don't know. I was like, oh, kill one, sever the link. The Upside Down still exists, but it's not. There's no one there, and it doesn't do anything anymore. You know,
Yeah, I think
that's
Yeah.
how I felt about that. And then it was like, no, he escaped, and that's it. End of the world.
I've got two things that I want to say. One is that I feel like season 4 did such a good job of bringing back some mystery to the show, especially with the killings,
Yeah.
that I don't think they'll be able to do that for season 5 because it feels like it's just going to be like all out war at that point.
It
And,
does
the other-
feel like that, yeah.
And the
Mm.
other thing I did not like of the show, season 4, is how much they were trying to force Steve and Nancy together. It's like now, because like in season 1, Steve was a bit of a douche, so they were like, "Oh, Nancy's gonna get with I can't remember his name, the other boy for season 2 and 3."
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
that Steve has become a likable character again by hanging out with Dustin, they're like, "Oh, everyone loves Steve now." So now they're like, "Oh, let's push Steve and Nancy together, like, or make him pine for her so much." And I don't like. It seems a bit too forced.
No,
for me.
I think it's going to go all the way back again. I think it's this is the season where Steve realizes that he likes Nancy again, right?
Mhm.
And he literally says to her, like, "I want to put 6 babies in you and go camping."
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird.
And I think he goes to like kiss or something, and
Hang on.
she looks really off put, and then they get like Robin is like being, "Oh, hi guys." So I
Yeah.
don't think
I like Robin.
I don't think Nancy is gonna end up with Steve.
I don't know. I feel like she's popular and Steve is popular. Especially like I've been watching a lot of like them doing press tours, and Steve and Nancy are there. I can't remember his name. The brother to Will.
Oh,
Um,
Yeah, I
can't
don't
remember.
remember something. He didn't have a lot to do this
he's
season.
hardly
Yeah,
in this season.
He's hardly
Yeah.
in the season. He was not on the.
He has
press
that
tours,
one
but-
really nice scene with his brother, which
Yeah.
that choked me up like more than anything else this season, where he was just like, "We're good, right?" And his brother was like, "Yeah," and he was like
oh
crying.
yeah, they're putting
And I was like,
salt
"Oh,
in the tub.
that's so sad." Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
But yeah,
love that
I
scene.
really do think they're going to be like Steve and Nancy are together by the end, or for the end of season 5. I it's being pushed so heavily.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of those things where you want to keep having interesting character. It's like when in the like will they won't they romance subplot, right? And then they do, but the show has to go on for another like 4
Yeah.
seasons, and it's like you can't just have them be a fine couple the entire time. So I think this is them putting some drama into that.
yeah. If they're solved characters and there's nothing for them to do, right? So it's,
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
I think my problem with it is because there was such a like at the end of season 1, Nancy was still with Steve, and then beginning season 2, it was like, oh, yep, they had a breakup over the summer, and now she's with the other dude, and it was like, oh, that's just because Steve was a bit of a douche in season 1. But yeah, so now it just feels like it's like, oh, it's catering to public perception maybe because everyone liked the other dude, more. And now now that Steve is like one of the best characters in the show, they're like, oh yeah, we want him to have a romantic love interest again.
well, I do
not
get what
sure.
you mean.
It might just be me
is
being
like
silly.
it's kind of realistic as well, though. I guess you could say it's just if they were a
Kinda,
thing
yeah.
in the past, and
To me, it just seems
Yeah,
like
that happens.
so
Yeah, yeah.
forced. It
It's like
just seemed like
people
they're
break up
forcing it
and
down
get
our
back
throat.
together. Yeah,
people break up, go back together. People, unfortunately, people do cheat and things like that. And it's like
yeah.
if her main thing with him that she didn't like was his immaturity, and his whole thing now is about how he's changed. Maybe.
But he is. I
yeah.
think also I had the problem of he's pining after her so much, whereas she's got a boyfriend. It's like, oh.
Well, as I said, like throughout all the scenes they have together, especially towards the end, and
Yeah.
their final scene, she looks hella uncomfortable.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She's kind of like, oh yeah, I do kind of like Steve again, and then he looks at her and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that story about how I want 50 kids and live out in a caravan. That was about you. She's like, oh dear.
I like Dustin, but I think he's getting a bit much.
I agree.
He just kind of has a joke. Like every scene ends with him cutting to him, and he's like, "Goofy," and everyone's like, "Oh, Dustin," and that. And it's like it's better when he's used sparingly, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like in season 1 he was so lovable because he was like the goof, but now it feels like he knows he's the shit, so he's like, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think it's the problem where they write a fun character that everyone likes, and then they just like, all right, let's just keep doing it and crank it up a notch and make him more fun every time, you know. Same with Steve, where like people started to like him, and then they were like, all right, let's just make the perfect protagonist, you know, for the show, sort of thing. Now he's too cool.
They'll make it. Season 5 will open. He'll just shit his pants.
yeah.
Just to lower him.
That would
down
give him
a
an
few
arc
levels.
that season. Yeah.
the whole season's redemption for the pants shitting. I was thinking when I was watching this, I think it was like at the end of the part 2. I was like, this cast is getting really big. Who are they going to kill within the next 2 episodes? Because there are too many characters here.
There weren't really many deaths, were there, this season?
Well, it was just...
Did you catch the bully guy at the end? Just dies in like almost off screen.
Yeah.
The guy just dies. Yeah.
Do you know what we talked? Did you see that, Steve? Did you know?
Yeah.
I think we were watching it, and then as the world splits in 2, and so does he.
And he just melts.
And he melts. I think I looked to Laura, and I was like, "Well, that's that problem sorted."
Yeah, I was like, "Okay," because he has a really interesting arc where you're like, "Please get it," you know.
Yeah, someone just tell him what's going on.
Yeah, and everyone's trying to explain. And then he kind of goes mad with power because everyone likes him and everyone's like cheering him on. And then he just fucking eats it in like almost an afterthought. Yeah,
I love that bit. I'm sad that Eddie had to go. I thought he was a really cool.
He was a great character. Yeah,
his scene playing Master of Puppets on top of the trailer is amazing. I love that.
It's incredible.
It's so good.
I think it's like that show manages to have stakes, but also and like have like a serious tone with like characters you care about. But then it'll do stuff like have a guy play Master of Puppets on an electric guitar as part of a wacky plan to kill an evil wizard. And I'm like, yep, I 100% buy this. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they ride that line so well.
I just think it's great. If you just see that written down in a script or something, you just look at it, it's like, how can that not be cool?
I went on the subreddit afterwards, and somebody was like, here's a post from me a month ago where from the trailer, from the way he was playing the guitar, I guessed which song he was playing.
No
and
way.
I correctly guessed Master of Puppets. Yeah, because he was like, I know it takes place in this year, and that song came out that year, so it's going to be around that time.
You know too much.
That it would be popular.
That's
it
good.
was cool.
That's
it was really cool.
Good. No, I was sad that he went. He was a really good character. There are tons of really cool new characters in this season alone. I can't remember his name, but the pizza guy was
fun
with his amazing silky long hair.
Yeah. They got a real laugh when they went into the other pizza joint, and the guy was just him again. It was hilarious. It was so much fun.
I like the bit where I think it was at the end. They're at the cabin or something, and he's just like crouching down, looking at mushrooms or something.
Yeah.
They're like, he's a bit eccentric.
Or where they're all enacting this plan to save the world, and it keeps cutting to him just making a pizza randomly in the kitchen.
But
great, just a great show. I enjoyed that season
really
so
good.
much.
Yeah. Really, really good. I've got nothing else to really add. Really, I just thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. It's the point where I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing season 5, and I was like, fine, great, I'll take another. I'll take another season of this because it's really fun.
I did think that, but then, as I said, I feel like it's not going to have like the mystery, and it's just going to be like, the portal to hell's ripped open and everyone's left, so it's basically just going to be the main cast versus.
I do get what you mean, but at the same time, they're giving me no reason to doubt that they'll make a good show. At the
they
very
worked
least.
an entire like prison breakout subplot into this season,
which was
and I
needed.
was there for it,
Yeah.
and a prison breakout and break back in, and I loved it.
Yeah, that whatever it ends up being, it'll still be good. Because every
Yeah,
season,
I think it's like there's been more good Stranger Things than bad, so I'm like, I trust them. I think they'll pull it off.
yeah. So my official rating is season 4 is better than 1, is better than 3, is better than 2.
Oh,
2 was a bit of a stinker, wasn't it? It was very slow.
I feel like if you watch season 1 again, 1 will top again.
Maybe.
I'll try it, but like
Yeah.
it just
Good.
has less characters that I like at this point. You know,
Well, there's characters, but the characters had more depth. I feel
just
like
by the numbers, it's not.
They
as
were
good.
like worried. There was like a mission. You know, they were all working on a mission. Like now, it just feels like, oh, they're all off doing their own thing, and they're all like competent. You know, like we know they can do what they do.
What's the plot of season 1 again? Is it just Will goes missing?
Will goes
Yeah.
missing. A random girl shows up. Joyce Byers kind of loses her mind, going crazy with the lights.
Oh yeah, there's all the stuff like I'm not crazy, as she's putting
that
lights
was
around her house.
That was just such good acting.
Then the way they figure out and they save Max just in time, even though I was like, oh my god, are they going to kill her? And then they almost do, and then they don't, and then she almost dies anyway, and it's like, bloody hell.
I would say like 4
that
is
was
good,
intense.
4 is good, but there are too many points where I'm just like, they could have done more. Like Lucas as a character, they could have done more with him. He had everyone else seems to have like fun moments. He has none.
I felt kind of cheated.
But he had some good moments with Max.
He had some good moments with Max, but they were kind of like soft, subtle moments rather than just like everyone else had like cool moments, you know?
I really like Max as a character, but I do feel kind of cheated about how they like cheated her out of death maybe like 4 times, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could see it. Where like she almost gets got and then they save her, and then the plan is to let her get got again. And then she does, and then she dies, which is like, wow, they've messed up their plan. But then they get her out again, but also kind of not. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of because she's alive, but she's not there, is she?
She's in a coma and she's blind.
But she's not there, like because there's that scene where 11 goes to look for her.
Or maybe that'll be.
And she's not even like in her head. She's not.
That's going to be a subplot.
That'll be why 11 isn't fighting the final boss in season 5. She's too busy running off trying to find Max.
Rescuing Max, yeah.
There you go. We haven't got to watch it now.
Yeah, we figured it out. What a great show, though.
Really, really, really good show. Right.
It's crazy you watch something like Obi-Wan where I made a shitty tweet where I was like, you know, the last couple episodes of Stranger Things total like 4 hours or something, which is like 2.5 movies, and it still felt shorter than like a single episode of Obi-Wan in places. Yeah, it just flew by. Yeah.
All right, cool. Right, so we can't do The Boys. I guess we'll look at that.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
3 shows in 1 week was probably too much anyway.
This is the TV cast now. The game TV cast.
Can we do Umbrella Academy and The Boys? Because there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Because they're kind of the same idea coming from a different direction.
Yeah.
That will be primarily between you two for Umbrella. Because I don't really plan on watching that. Nor could I watch all of it in 1 week anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I don't really mind. So if you two do that, we'll do The Boys. And then in terms of this week and games we've been playing, I don't have a whole lot to add.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I don't either.
Or we could...
I have a game, but...
Well, let's get one really quickly out of the way. I didn't want to talk about it for ages because we did it last week. But I know for a fact that Sam and myself have played a ton of Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
And Steve.
What, today?
Today and yesterday, right? Did you play some yesterday?
I did like 2 missions yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll bring up an image anyway. How much have you played of this, Will, now?
I haven't played it since last week. My opinion is the same.
Okay, good.
Slow start.
There's not a lot to really add compared to last week. So again, I don't want to go crazy into it. But what I will say is I really like this game, this expansion specifically. I think I'll agree with... I think this is what you said, Will. You said like the start is all like fighting the same monsters again.
Yeah.
Very slow start.
It is a very slow start. You fight the crab, and then it's kind of
Which
repeats.
is awesome.
Which what? Sorry.
The crabs are awesome. I want to put forward.
Oh, the crabs.
Oh yeah.
mate,
Oh, the crab is a great. Yeah, it's one of my favorite monsters.
yeah.
Yeah.
The crab is awesome.
He's small now, though. You notice that he's tiny.
Or there's. I fought a massive one. You might have just fought a small one.
Well, maybe yeah, that is true. Maybe I lucked out, but it's. I remember him being absolutely huge, and then me and Aaron went to fight him, and he was like barely taller than I was.
But when you get into it, so I keep bringing back Sam because we've basically played everything together, more or less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are master rank 5. 5. When you get into the meat of it, probably around, I'd say like master rank 3, it starts chucking a lot more new stuff.
Yeah, it literally
Okay.
just goes new monster, and then you go, isn't that just like a recolor, or they've added some stuff, and then it's like whole new move set, does some crazy stuff, and you're like, oh okay, no, it's not.
It's like having Olive Meister, and then you go to fight Fire Olive Meister, and you're like, that's just Will on fire, right? And you get there, and it's crazy. So
look for Fire Olive Meister next week.
yeah. I will say the difficulty I think has been really good. It's been like a really it's in a really sweet spot where you fail the odd sort of mission here and there, not too often, but occasionally you'll fail one. But every single time, every single victory feels like you just make it, I feel.
I have a story about failure. There's a boss you fight at master rank 30, and last night I attempted it like 20 to 30 times.
Jesus.
Wow.
I was getting so fed up. The randoms, it's a hard one where there's like mechanics you have to like move out of the way of.
Yeah.
And randoms, I died at my fair at the start, but then I got to the mechanics. But every single time, randoms would die multiple times, and it would be it got to the point where because I did try it by myself, but the boss was targeting me too much, so I couldn't really like attack. I am sword and shield, so it is like I have to be very close. But it got to the point where I was making lobbies, and because I knew there was this hard section of this fight which repeats another time in the fight, I would literally, if someone died during that section of the fight, I would kick them and be like, because I know you're going to die again, and you're going to cost us. It is a long fight. It is a long, very story-heavy based fight. And
why are you playing with randoms?
Because no one else is up to the point where I am.
Can't you just do it solo though?
But I tried, but the boss is too much, especially for my weapon set. I did try to do it solo, but it was just like targeting me constantly non-stop. And I've got like full proper end game armor maxed out, and it's still very difficult.
Sorry, but you haven't lived if you haven't soloed Nergigante in Monster Hunter World. You know, like there are some bosses you just got to solo and
I have
bash your
nightmares
head
about
against
that
the
fight.
wall.
I can see that, but I just feel like this boss especially is quite hard to hit with my sword and shield. So I was like, I'll take randoms.
Oh, we'll get there eventually.
I have to say, the praise, the veterans who I managed to luck into at 2 a.m. because usually I go to bed around 12. I stayed up till 2 a.m. because I'm like, I'm not going to bed until this monster is dead.
Yeah.
And they came in and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got this," and I'm like, "Oh, thank God!" And I was like, "Thank God, I've been here. It's 2 a.m. I've been fighting this like 20 to 30 times." And like, "Oh yeah, we just farmed this. We like the fight." And I was like,
and then you wiped 10 more times.
You're crazy. No, I went to bed after that. Oh, but that so far, like, I've not had a problem with difficulty except for that one fight where just everyone was dying.
No, there's certain fights that we've done where it feels like,
yes,
where do you get your attacking? It's like all the other fights. It's like, okay, I'm gonna maximize damage on the head, do this, blah 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 blah. And other certain fights, when they get hard enough, it's like if I can just hit it anywhere and get out without losing 2/3 of my life, I'm happy with that.
I would start playing my hunting horn away from the monster to get my buffs because I could never hit the monster long enough to do my combos.
Okay, that's good to hear
because then when you got your DPS phase, you pump, and it forces you to learn the monster, right?
Yeah,
which is what you want. Because the issue with anyone's ever had in Monster Hunter multiplayer is there's 4 of you, so you just start wailing on it, and it never really gets to do anything.
Okay, that's good, because that's my problem. It's like you get to master rank, and it's like, all right, the gloves are coming off, and then me and Aaron have been just basically goofing and still one-shotting every single monster.
That goes very quick. That goes very quickly. There's almost a point, I feel like, where you snap your fingers, and it's like, oh,
right,
okay, yeah.
I think Master Rank 3, because I was in full Monster Hunter Rise endgame gear, right?
Yeah.
I was fully kitted out. So I didn't craft any Master Rank armor because my high rank armor was good enough.
Yeah, that's
and
where
I hit
I'm
Master Rank 3 was like, right, the normal hits, like, you know when a mob moves and it does damage to you and like knocks you back?
Yeah, it's
taken off like half my health. And I was like, now I've got to drop all of my like min-maxed abilities because I just need raw armor now. I finally hit that point again.
There's certain points, I think it's happened once, maybe twice, where you feel you're not full life, but you're like, like comfortable life, I would say. You're like 7/8
90
life, and you get hit by something and you just die in one hit. And it's like, oh, okay. like you said, I just need to. You put on like the clown outfit. You got like gloves from this monster, helmet from another monster. You look like absolute. Yeah. You look terrible.
I took off my lead armor because I was like, no, if I'm gonna wear the jank, I'm gonna embrace it.
Embrace the clown suit. But yeah, I think now that it's master rank and it's getting harder, there's certain missions we've done. I've had to like eat certain dangos for certain elemental resists, just so I feel more confident. It's like little things like that I played base game so much, and I didn't do any of that kind of stuff in base game.
And I will say, even ahead, you have new status effects. You've got like a lot of variety still ahead of you. So it is a very
I can't wait.
Very fun. Like even now, I'm like, I wish I was playing Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah. No, I was playing in the base game. I was trying out the heavy bowgun. With mouse and keyboard, and it's okay. But now that I'm back to using hammer again, it's I think you find your weapon in these games.
Yeah,
it's just that is it. It's so good.
I do want to try other weapons now because they've added a bunch of new silk bind attacks and stuff.
Yeah,
but I keep looking at videos, and they're like, every single day there's new videos being like, oh well, this technique is actually really good for this weapon, and it's like I keep looking up tier lists for weapons, and it changes still every day because people are still like experimenting and discovering like, oh, this is actually like fantastic here, and this
you're in too deep. You're in too deep.
I love it.
Need to play it. Yeah, pick the fun one.
Remember that this is.
Well, I'm still Sword and Shield, which is fun for me, but
the way I always think of it, right, is again, it sounds like obviously, but this is made by Capcom, right? They make shitload of fighting games and bits like that. You don't need. Obviously, each weapon is so deep, right? But you don't need to know the ins and outs to have a fun time. You'll learn a lot of the ins and outs as you play more of that weapon.
Well, for me, it's because I'm mostly looking up. I'm trying to find what the best Palico stuff is, because now you can basically pick and choose what you want. It's not RNG anymore. So I'm like, oh, I've got basically everything open to me. What should I be having for my cat like abilities? And even that changes. Like they're like, oh, well, this support centric skill is
because
added.
there isn't a best.
Yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing about it is you can give all your cat like purely support stuff, and that's completely fine because you're the one doing the damage. Or you can just give it some crazy wacky attack stuff, and then it's like, that cat's actually doing some damage, and that's fine.
Well, ultimately, knowing the matchup will always be more important than maximizing your combos. If you just know what the monster does, when to engage, when to get away, that's way more important.
Yeah, gear doesn't matter if he doesn't hit me.
Exactly, yeah.
My combo at the moment is like at some point press circle and circle triangle, and then mash triangle. Because all I want to do is play this one tune over and over again. I don't care if it's efficient for damage or
That's pretty funny.
If I do 2 triangles in a row, I heal the party, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I played Hammer all of base game Rise for I think 60, 70 hours, and now I've gone back to Hammer again, and I've just started using a move with the hammer. That was in base game that I rarely used to use. And as soon as I start using it, I'm like, oh no, it's really good. It's really good. I've been using it the entire game.
I will say,
you never needed to.
Exactly. That's the point, right? That's what we come back to. Is I never actually needed to.
I love it when I see a hunting horn in my party now, because it's like I know I'm going to be healed fully constantly. I'm going to have not going to need to sharpen my weapon at all, because they can now keep the party like fully sharp. And it's great every time you see a hunting horn. So
I don't expect that with me. I don't take.
We had that up to a point. Playing with Sam, and then it all got really hairy, and that
we have started hitting fights now. Like I would say, the last hour or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What the fact that I was a hunting horn user did not matter. Like it helped, but if the boss hit you, you healed. You didn't wait for me to heal you. You know.
Yeah.
We're at the point now where hunting horns are nice. They're like Monster Rank 1 and 2. I don't think I ever used potions. I just out-healed it with the hunting horn.
Yeah.
Because it's, and it was a slow start. I will agree to that. It took a while.
But when
once you're there, you forget about it.
When you get there and it gets its claws into
the game, just Master Rank 3, the game just starts slapping you.
It's like one more. I just want to do one more fight, one more hunt.
Cool. I'm excited.
It's got a really good it's got quite a good pace as well in terms of urgent fights, which are like story boss fights. Because again, I've literally just finished base game on PC because I had to get up to date. And the base game makes you do 4, sometimes 5 missions before you get a story boss or like a boss. Whereas Sunbreak is normally 2.
2 to 3, yeah.
2 story mission, 2 story mission.
Yeah, that's
keeps you really involved.
Yeah, really good pace.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my game of the week. Did you say you had something? Oh, sorry, Sam.
No, the one thing I want the Rampagers back because I really enjoyed them.
No, I hated them.
No, I like Rampagers.
No, they're so good.
I like them. I miss them.
I liked the idea of them, but they only did like one, and then you just do that one over and over again. If they properly supported them,
there was
have more fun
Apex
with them,
versions of them, but you never.
But it was still the same thing.
I liked doing a Rampage mission like every 5 or every 10 missions, and now it's like I've done 20 to 30 missions and I've done a single Rampage.
I enjoy the follower missions, which they replaced them with, like just going in there alone with an NPC. It's kind of like this. That's the single player content.
But you see that because we're all playing as a group, there's never really an opportunity to do those because I want to do them.
Just do them whenever. Like it's all optional. Like you get basically cosmetic.
Yeah, but it's finding the time because like if I go and play Monster Hunter Rise, there's like 3 other people that will be like, well, if you're playing Rise,
I'm playing
I'll
to play multiplayer.
Rise.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not going to be like, oh no, I'm doing single player stuff when I could play with friends, you know?
You know what you could do, Sam? You could get a second do the single player stuff on the way to work.
Oh yeah, Steam Deck. Yeah.
Steam Deck.
Switch.
I've got
on
a
Switch.
Yeah, he's got a Switch. Yeah, just play on Switch. Yeah.
Oh, I said before, but playing this at like 4K, high refresh rate,
so good.
Yes, Josh. We all know the Switch is terrible.
Switch is.
Don't have to keep saying it.
Switch is garbage, man.
That Nintendo sponsorship is long gone already. Okay, don't worry about it.
I hate you, Miyamoto.
I love you. Sponsor me.
Oh, okay, we're safe. That cancels it out. Good job, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
What you played this week, Steve?
I was living my sad boy summer fantasy over the weekend, so I didn't play much. I was mostly just playing Sunbreak, but I did play today a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Oh yeah, you were looking for a group of people.
Enjoyed. Yeah, because that game is it's 1 to 6 players. So I was like, if anyone wants to play, it's on Game Pass. It's not a relatively bad download, and it's not difficult. Well, it's not difficult. It's difficult, but not hard to learn. It's like you're basically pressing one button for an attack. This game is very reminiscent of if you've ever played like an old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like arcade fighter.
What's a beat 'em up, right?
Beat 'em up, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of that, but this one has so much polish. Like the graphics alone, like it's still pixel art, but it's done so well. Like all the enemies, rather than just like jumping on the screen, they're often in the background, like they're cooking, like cookies or on the phone or typing on the computer or something.
Yeah.
There's so much love and humor in this. It's so fun. And it's also kind of just like mindless. It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors, where it's just like, oh yeah, you'll go along. I think I've read there's 16 missions, and it takes about like 2 hours. But you can replay
these games are normally for like replayability, right?
Yeah.
So, multiple characters with different move sets. Yeah.
This would actually be a good game to for us to play and just over.
I'd be up for playing this. I'm always down for a good beat 'em up.
It's very fun. Mostly you're just pressing X. All the characters kind of are similar. They've got slight differences.
Yeah.
Donatello has the biggest range because he's using the stick.
He does machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuck.
Yeah, it's just.
Wait, is that Donatello? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Donatello's the purple one. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I was not expecting much, and I was like, "Oh, this is very charming." And I would say, if you've got Game Pass and you're looking for just a game to just turn on and play, or if you've got some friends to play with, very fun. You're just going across on the screen and beating up things.
Does it do anything new? Because I like a good beat 'em up just fine, but I feel like I've played a lot of hey, we made another beat 'em up at this point.
I don't think it's done anything super new. There are there's a campaign and there's an arcade mode, and the campaign mode is as you're going through, you'll get a couple of power-ups as you level up, but it's not really that important or noticeable. And there's some side quests find a newspaper in the zone, but it's not very hidden. The arcade mode apparently is there's no saves and there's limited lives. So that's more reminiscent of your classic.
You are in an arcade, yeah.
But yeah, it's more just polished for what it is, but it's not innovating the genre too much.
Fair enough.
Other than I guess
I do love
6
good
players.
Good pixel art is always nice though.
That's true.
Looks really nice. I think it might have got removed from Game Pass, so I'm not 100% sure. But at one point, Streets of Rage 4 was on the Game Pass for PC.
Yeah.
And I haven't played that, but I've always intended to, because that's supposed to be a really good 2D beat 'em up as well. So if you like those sorts of games, there's a few of them out these days. Does anybody remember?
I searched Streets of Rage on the Game Pass app. It's so crap, and it was you want to play Sea of Thieves? I'm like, no. It was you want to play Sea of Thieves or buy Shadow of War? I'm like, no, neither of those. Is it on there or not?
Sea of Rage?
Seas of Rage.
Streets of Rage is not on Game Pass. It is on the app because you can buy it, but it's not.
That's a shame.
Yeah, you can buy it.
It definitely was at one point. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
I did. I bought that on Xbox Arcade before they removed it.
So you still have that?
It was okay.
I really enjoyed that. That had really good art and really good music as well. It had a whole album done by Anna Managuchi.
Yeah.
That's a solid album. I think it's all on YouTube. If anyone likes, is it chiptune? I guess it's kind of chiptune music.
Chiptune-y, yeah.
Chiptune-y, poppy, kinda music.
Something, I don't know.
I think it's a genre of music, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, who did you play with?
I played with Swagger, and it was just a nice job. I didn't play for too long because at the end, for some reason, I could not keep my eyes open. It was 2 p.m. and I was like, my eyes are falling asleep. I cannot for some reason. I think because it's so hot today. It is sweltering, and apparently it's going to get worse. But I was like, sorry, dude, I need a nap. But I'd happily play it again. It's just a nice little fun game. I would say it's not you're not going to be playing it for the story. You're going to be playing it because you want something to do, maybe with a friend.
Yeah,
or friends.
Shredder's Revenge puts you to sleep. Glowing review.
It's literally because of the heat. I think heat makes me tired.
Yeah, the game's crap.
Okay, has anyone else played anything?
Yes.
Oh, go
on. So this week, what I've been playing mostly this week is Disgaea 6.
Oh, God. I'm going to go make some food. I'll be right back.
How dare you? Yeah, so I mean, if anyone's ever played a Disgaea game, you've played this game before.
Don't you
I think I
grind?
might have
Don't
played
you
one.
grind? You grind to level 10,000, right?
Right, so this is the best thing about this one in particular, is the maximum level is 9,999. But you can actually hit that very quickly. The game is designed for you to hit level cap, and then what's called super reincarnate, because you're a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is you get all your levels, and then you die or reincarnate, and then you start again from level 1. But you obviously keep progress, right? Like
Yeah.
That sounds
you
like
know.
an idle game to me. I don't like that.
It does, doesn't it?
What? The idea of prestiging is an idle game to you?
It's because I played Clicker Heroes, and in that game it was like you could continue on, or you can reset all your progress and get some extra benefits. I'm like, no, I hate that.
You not played like COD 4 or
Nope.
any Call of Duty for that matter?
That's
I
an
played one, but not
idle game
long.
Call of Duty.
Or Hunt.
Yeah, but Hunt,
Hunt
I
Showdown.
guess Hunt, yeah.
Thank you for that, Will. I appreciate that one.
Oh yeah, but thought I'd pull you out there from wherever we're going.
Those
with
are
this side
multiplayer
quest.
games. This is a single player game.
That changes everything.
Completely irrelevant. But so normally getting to level cap in Disgaea is a really arduous grind, and the main grind is getting the items that boost your EXP gain and stats so that you can get there, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, the numbers are just fucking crazy. They're like, mate, you start level 1, you finish the first mission, you're level 400. Go nuts. Just go nuts.
That's pretty fun. I'm glad they cut loose.
Just
you know?
lean into it. They know what they're doing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You start slapping people for 20,000, and then the next mission you're just slapping people for like 1 million, and it's still just the great wacky Disgaea experience that I love. Yeah, it's great. It is just fantastic, and I recommend it to everyone who likes tactical RPGs.
I've never really liked the art style of Disgaea. There's just something about it. I think it's kind of...
It's very Marmite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't even say, it's very anime. Like, I wouldn't describe it as even anime, you know?
Like, it's chibi, right?
It's almost, yeah.
It's like
its own
chibi
thing,
anime.
in a way. But it's great fun. And each character has its own, identity.
Yeah.
So...
Oh yeah, it's all about the characters, right? There's tons of characters in these games.
Yes.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's so fun. And I mean, I play all the Disgaea games, but I never hit level cap because it's always a 100-hour grind just to see the number hit maximum.
Yeah.
You've already finished the game at that point, and it's I don't hate that, but I need a reason to grind, a super end boss or something, and I'm like, right, I can't beat this guy, so I'm gonna just level up crazy amounts and then come and kick his ass. But this is just there hey, you've hit level cap, just go on back down, and then I'm pretty sure the level cap is gonna get higher as I progress through the game.
At some point, yeah.
Well, it was like a meme, wasn't it? But
great.
now it's just truth, where it's just these games, in particular, this series, it's the grinding series. If you you can just grind forever in these games. And the number forever.
You can easily grind forever, but it's you set your own endpoint, right?
Yeah.
You could hit level cap and then be like, well, I've hit level cap, so I'm done. Or you could be like, no, I want a perfect character, which is max stats and max gear or something. And it's, this game is one of those, it is what you make of it kind of games.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you're always playing as an overlord demon, so the story's just kind of cool because it can do a couple of things that normal stories don't.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it. How far in are you at this point?
I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6. I put 30 hours in this week, so...
Oh, you played more than I thought you would have played.
Yeah, I've played a lot. And it lets you get characters from the old games, which is what's on screen now as well.
Yeah.
Which is nice. You can get your favourite characters.
There's a screenshot here of the main character. I think it's the main character, like you said. And his HP number is 15, followed by 20 zeros.
Yeah.
on the Steam page.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. I don't know. There it is. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to say that
Look
number.
at that
yeah.
level. Yeah, my
Yeah.
maximum level is 4 9s at the moment. But like, as ridiculous as that looks, by the time you hit that stage where you've unlocked it, you just level up so quickly.
yeah.
What's this?
And if you're ever like, well, what's the point? Why not just have less numbers? The point is just to have big numbers and just go
Yeah.
ballistic
Yeah.
and crazy.
It does. So this does kind of remind me of like Cookie Clicker, when you would get to like 50 quadrillion cookies per second. You know, it does. I see where Steve's coming
Sorry,
from.
Steve. You were right. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, you weren't
But
completely
I
irrelevant.
still refuse to accept that prestiging is an idle game mechanic.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think he was coming at it from the wrong angle, but he doesn't not have a point there. There's a talking point.
I like the gun number. He's got two gun.
That's his
Two
attack
gun.
range.
Oh, okay.
Two
So
gun.
movement,
and
how-
15 quadrillion.
How high it can move, how
health.
far away it can attack from, how far you can throw your teammates, how many times you can counterattack in a turn, and your critical
Right,
hit
let's-
chance.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things in this game, isn't it? You make stacks of characters and then throw them everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I have played this
You
game
just-
before.
it's
Not this
just-
one, but
Good amount of fun.
Let's
Yeah.
work this number out. That's the hundreds. There's your millions, billions, trillions, What's after quintillion?
oh, I thought
zero.
I made up quintillion.
I'm pretty sure that's real, right? A Googleplex. There you go. Solved it.
Well, because it depends, right? Because it's like a billion is supposed to be a million, which is 12 zeros. So this is 100. This is 1,500,000.
It's
billion.
a quintillion. It's a quintillion. It's
I
because
thought we went over on the podcast. I'm not good at maths.
that's okay. It's just numbers, Steve. It's not
Too
maths.
much.
You haven't got to put them together. Let's go back. Where is it? No, that's Shredder's Revenge. There we go. Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions, quintillions. So okay, so this guy's health. Let's make it larger.
This is a great bit, especially for listeners.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for listening. We're looking at a big number.
Joss is literally
okay?
just counting a big number.
15 quintillion.
There's no joke here. You can skip forward like maybe 5 minutes.
15 quintillion, 310 quadrillion, 1,224,917,092,466. There you go.
Oh, that's how Elon Musk's child is named.
Where's the golf clap?
Yeah, someone clap at home, just so I feel validation. That's the number of children Elon Musk has now with his co-workers.
Yeah.
Nice. Take that, Elon.
Take
Did you see
that.
he didn't buy
Jokes.
Twitter in the end?
Yeah, and he'll get away with it too.
What's that about?
Oh, it's all stock manipulation in that, isn't it? That's all. He does anything these days. I'm like, yeah, that's probably to do with stocks.
Yeah.
Right. So, should we do some news stories then? I think that's everyone's games, right?
Yeah.
Will said he had nothing to talk about.
Nothing. I played nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Okay.
I've never heard of that
Play
game.
it
What's
again.
that about?
I'm going to close some tabs and we'll get to story number 1. Oh, okay. This one I'm quite excited for. This is God of War Ragnarok finally has a release date.
Well,
Because
you're excited because you own a PS5. None of us do.
you can play it on PS4.
Can you?
It's coming to PlayStation
can't.
5 and PS4. Sam can't. He broke his PS4. He played too many
Oh,
Japanese
no.
RPGs. But yeah, this is so.
God, the HP went too far and his PS4 crashed.
the number got too big.
It was sat there just trying to Google big numbers and it couldn't handle it.
They kept saying this game was coming out 2022, and in the back of my head, I don't want to be like Steve, where I'm like, it'll get delayed. But I kind of felt
Gonna
like
get delayed again.
just give a date then. If it's this
We're
year.
still time.
Yeah, well, now we know for sure. November 9th. There's a cool new CG trailer where you can see in this image, if you're watching, there's a big scary dog.
What's the wolf called from
Fenrir?
Ragnarok?
Uh,
Is it Fenrir? Yeah, that sounds right.
Sif.
Sif or Fenrir.
There's
But-
only 3 mythical dogs. It's Fenrir, Sif, or Cerberus, and that one's not got too few heads. Sorry,
And now what's the 3 legendary dogs from Pokemon,
What
Steve?
about Clifford?
Entei, Reiko, and Suicune.
We can think of more dogs.
Lassie? It's
yeah,
pretty legendary at this
Lassie.
point.
Dog?
Scooby-Doo.
Scrappy-Doo. Scrappy-Doo.
What's the dog from Metal Gear Solid? Remember that one? D-Dog? Was that his name?
The dog from
With
Metal
the
Gear
tactical-
Solid?
K9.
Yeah, from K9.
Yeah, it's probably K9.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, God of War is coming
That
out.
was not two, but
God of War 2, but you can't call it that because there's already God of War 2.
Well, you can't call it that in the first place because it's Dad of War.
Have you?
I'm really excited for God of War Ragnarok.
I'm really excited. The first one ended on not a cliffhanger, but like a big reveal, didn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Is it okay to spoil? It's been a while now, right?
Surely it's okay to
just
spoil
want
at
to
this point.
quickly. Well, yeah, you say that, and then I'll say what I'm going to say.
Also, the reveal at the end of the first game is that what's his name? What's your son? Atreus.
Boy.
He's Loki, the god
Yeah.
of mischief.
He's been named Loki. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his real name.
What was it? His mum is a giant.
She was a giant, which isn't a giant in the literal sense. They were just a different race of
Yeah.
people, right? We're called giants for some reason.
Yeah,
and
and
she called him Loki.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, he's Loki. He's the slick talking guy from Marvel movies.
And he's Tom Hiddleston, and he brings about Ragnarok, which I presume will be directed again by Taika Waititi. He did a pretty good job the first time around.
So yeah, God of War Ragnarok will launch day one on the Disney Plus Game Pass. Is this news anymore, or is this just misinformation?
I don't. Now we're just goofing, aren't we? Well, God of War Ragnarok, November 9th. There we go.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Exciting.
It's probably going to be fucking sick because the first one was amazing.
We can only hope. Yeah, yeah.
My favorite.
What would you like to see in a sequel most?
I think besides the obvious things, which is like, I want to see Kratos with Thor's hammer.
Yep.
Because that is going to happen. I just kind of want to see what they do with the combat to make it a bit more, because they got to like add on to the previous game, right?
Yeah.
And the first game had crazy good combat, like the throwing axe and all the moves and stuff. I just want to see where they go with it.
I want more memes from the game. There are so many good Dad of War memes.
There's one, and it's him saying "boy."
No, but there's like the voice actor was like asked to say a bunch of stuff, and people put that to video. And
the guy from Stargate. I think it's Stargate. Can't remember the guy's name, but I just know he's.
Have you
in
seen
Stargate.
interviews with that guy? He gets super emotional about his role in as God of War, as the God of War.
I love that when people
super
are really
into it.
Yeah, when people are into
Yeah.
There's a video that came out with this of them showing off the collector's edition of Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok, and opening it is the art director and the guy that voices Thor in this game. And like you're describing, he's like
Hemsworth.
No, it's another a random voice actor. Well, he might be a really famous voice actor. I don't know.
Troy Baker.
Yeah, it's Troy Baker, and he.
Damn it!
But he loves it.
Gets all the work.
he's super into it, and I'm like, cool. I like it when people are into, what they're doing.
Wow, yes,
Like
the
Vin
best,
Diesel
the best,
and Arc
aren't they?
2.
yeah. I saw Vin Diesel getting super emotional about voicing all the dinosaurs in Arc 2.
I've always wanted to be a bald man riding a dinosaur. I'm gonna cry.
People were like, oh, so you're voice acting in this game, and he's like, yeah, but I don't care about the main character. I voiced this Velociraptor. That's all I care about is this one Velociraptor I voiced.
I kicked the door in and said, "Put me in Arc 2, or I'm gonna beat you all up."
He voices the meteor, which eventually wipes out the dinosaurs.
Family.
Right.
Well, not even a giggle from that one? Wow, okay.
I giggled.
Fuck me, I'm out of here.
You got a pity giggle.
Come back, you got better jokes. Has anyone watched Thor: Love and Thunder?
No.
No.
Okay.
I almost did, and then it was too hot, and I just wanted to sleep instead.
Ironically, the cinema was one of the coolest places I've been this weekend.
Well, yeah, because you were there.
So,
Yeah.
So anyway, God of War.
Yeah, derailing slightly about the new Thor movie. I have no motivation to see it at the cinema.
It's really good. It's actually really good.
Yeah,
Thor Ragnarok is my favorite Marvel film.
Yeah,
By far.
I struggled to put it above Thor Ragnarok, but that was because Ragnarok was so good.
Yeah.
No, but this one is also so good. You need to watch it in a cinema. I'm sorry, you need to watch it in a cinema.
I've still not watched
Okay.
Doctor Strange, so I'll watch it
Oh, you
a
need
month
to watch
after it comes
Doctor
out on Disney
Strange. Is
Plus.
fantastic.
Doctor Strange is really good.
I would, but I have homework to watch The Boys and Umbrella Academy.
Oh, it's
I'm
not
gonna have
homework, Steve.
time.
We're telling you to play games and watch movies.
Yes, sir.
Anyway.
Moving on from
We'd be at the coolest school ever, wouldn't we?
moving on from God of War, Love and Thunder, we have Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 Remaster have been shelved. So I think this is kind of like a multi-prong news story. It's kind of like they were making Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remasters. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption Remaster is big. I don't know how I feel about GTA 4. Like,
it's been a
I don't
while.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, GTA 4 was great though. That was the first. Like, it was always when I was younger. The GTA games were all those are the 18 plus ones that my family actually knew were 18 plus, so I couldn't play those. But you go around a friend's house and they had cool parents.
For me, GTA 4, it was never San Andreas or Vice City.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
GTA 4 wasn't. I mean, even GTA 3, I think, was fantastic compared to GTA 4, but
GTA 4 was a really good story, but it was a lot less like comical, I would say, compared to compared to previous GTAs like San Andreas, where you could do random weapon cheats and fly around in random cars and tanks and stuff. GTA 4 was very grounded. It was very grey. I remember as well, very grey green.
That's where a remaster could have maybe helped with that.
Yeah, I mean, it had the Euphoria engine for physics, which I thought were really fun to play around with in GTA 4.
What that is.
Or you used to, like, say, pull someone out their car, and they used to hang onto the door as you drove away.
Yeah.
And they would, like, swing around. And I don't know if GTA 5 still uses that engine for physics. They might use something else.
I think it does.
Yeah. But
I'm not sure.
It felt very raw in GTA 4. Like, you push someone over, like, just bump into them, and they'd walk around like a drunk. like it had, 10 pints of beer. That was really funny. But yeah, so...
My thing is, if they were going to do a remaster, I feel like they should do it of a game that was incredibly popular, like Red Dead Redemption, rather than... I'm pretty sure GTA 4 was one of the lesser liked, even if it was widely liked.
The thing about a Red Dead Redemption remaster is that game is still locked to PS3 and Xbox 360. And if you're really into Red Dead Redemption as a series, as like an overall story, that game's really important to the story following Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to play.
That's why I think a remaster would be really good for it.
I think if you get a disc of it, you can play it on an Xbox One and Xbox Series S and X. Not S, but the X one. I think you can. That's probably the easiest way to play it these days, to try and find like a pre-owned copy on eBay or something. But
not the easiest way, but the most lawful way.
I mean, how's piracy of Xbox 360 and PS3? I don't really know much about that.
I assume everyone's pirated everything by now.
I think those consoles are still...
piracy got cracked. Yeah, consoles are one of the harder ones to crack into, right?
I just know that, like...
My knowledge is very little.
You can definitely...
Switch was instantly cracked, I know.
You can definitely get emulators for PS3. I just don't think that... like older emulators that are like kind of foolproof, where it's like plug and play. There's still some weird stuff with certain emulators. But anyway, these were basically... They're not cancelled, so they're shelved. Because if you remember, the GTA Trilogy remake was so bad.
Have a load of problems.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Ass.
Yeah, they were...
One more time, Sam.
Oh, yeah, I got a rank. I went to take a swig of my drink, and then you started making me laugh.
What were they, Sam?
Ass.
There we go. They were...
I'm going to clip that.
I almost went for my drink again.
They've been shelved. So apparently until GTA 6 is finished, which again, we know GTA 6 is coming, but this is more confirmation of that.
These remasters make me lose track of like where we're at. Like, I know GTA 6 is announced, but and then they're like, okay, we'll wait till that's done, and then and I'm like, I'm lost. I've forgotten where we are on all these series
GTA
now.
6 is not officially announced. I'm pretty sure they've put out like blog posts.
No, it's been announced properly, I think.
Announce for a game like that, announcing it is like a trailer, right? It's like GTA 6. Here's a trailer. It's like a minute long or 30 seconds long.
They confirmed they're making it.
I know that. It's confirmed they're making it. It's just it's not officially...
I mean, they were always making GTA 6, right?
Oh, yes.
Let's be real.
I've said that for years because it's so obvious. I'm not like I'm not a mystic. I'm not like a psychic. Obviously, they're working on it. Well, it's like makes the most money ever.
Yeah.
Doing something else. You don't know.
Or no, you do know.
No, you do know that they're making GTA 6.
They're making GTA 6 as they're making GTA 5.
They could be doing Red Dead 3, right?
Well, they might be, but it doesn't mean they're not making GTA 6. They'll always be making a GTA because it is the game that makes infinite money.
True.
But yeah, so these
I haven't played GTA 6 at all.
No one's played GTA 6.
Sorry, GTA 5. GTA 5, sorry.
Me and Will, you could see we're stumbling over each other to try and get that out.
We'll just try and get that one in there, yeah.
Sam's probably like drinking, trying to get it out as well. Spat his drink.
Sam was taking another sip, yeah.
Damn it.
I've got to be careful in this group.
But yeah, so that's been shelved because Trilogy was ass. So you might see them one day. But for now.
Ass.
But for now, ass. E3 is officially coming back in 2023.
Nice. I don't know why though, because what is this going to add? Like, is this going to add like an in-person?
This is
event?
It's an in-person event, yeah, in Los Angeles.
Okay. I was going to say, like, I know that like Gamescom is coming up in August, and that's going to be in person. So that's going to be like the first big gaming convention that you can actually visit in person and play stuff. For like since COVID. I was like, why, when Summer Games basically cannibalized everything E3 this year, will they have
Summer
any
Games was kind of bad.
I think people will be really excited.
E3 would be the same.
No,
absolutely.
I think E3 will be the same. Whether or not it's the same, it's like just name alone. It's kind of exciting because there's so many memories attached to it. You know, we had Game Fest and all that stuff this year, but we still call it E3.
Yeah, we called stuff not E3 because of how much we like E3, you know?
Yeah.
But will the conferences be that different? Like,
no, probably not. But it's E3.
I feel like we still got the
more
same...
conferences is better in my eyes. Just give me more. Fuck it. They can spend the money.
I feel like we got what we were going to get. The only thing that I missed from E3 was the Ubisoft in-person stuff. Like, I thought like the Just Dance cheesy crap and all of that, but it's not been good for like a couple years, so
I just think E3 is a great way to tie it all together, and it's just kind of a fun week when it, start to finish, there's conferences every day, and
you just hate Jeff Keighley.
Well, he doesn't put on a very good show. to be frank, Keighley, I don't think it's very fun.
I think the best thing that comes from
Jeff,
this...
I love you.
Such a suck up, Steve. I think the best thing that comes from this, which is kind of what Will just said briefly, is that all of the Summer Game stuff is really spread out. Whereas it's nice to have a thing. Here is a thing. It's 1 week long or like a couple days long, and they're all going to be there. And it's like, okay, I can go on my calendar and say tonight is Sony and Microsoft, and tomorrow is this. Blah, blah, blah. And I like it more condensed, like that.
Yeah, and everyone's arguing over who had the best show,
Yeah.
and we all argue about what we think the best game shown was, even though none of them will actually come out because it's all CG trailers.
Exactly,
and they'll get delayed into oblivion. But
I kind of liked it being spread out because, like this year, if you don't know, on our YouTube we have some VODs of us like reacting to the Game Awards, and I feel like if it was all in one day or a couple days, we'd get burned out very quickly. But I like that it was spread out, that we could have like, oh, okay, here's a VOD for this one. A couple days later, here's another VOD, Like, I feel like it's because we did it this way for the podcast. I enjoyed it being a little bit more spread out.
for me, there's too much. If I just watch a random half-hour Capcom show, it's like it doesn't mean anything. But if it's Capcom, if it's Ubisoft followed by Capcom followed by EA, it's like I'm so hyped I'm so excited to watch all these like what people have to show us in terms of
And
what
you
they
get
think.
extra feelings because you're like, Ubisoft might be good, and then Capcom shit, and then you're like,
Yeah,
where's
exactly,
EA
yeah.
gonna be?
Yeah. Can EA bring it back for the evening? Yeah.
I do kind of
That's
think as
hype, I
well
love
that it's
it.
like you have all these separate shows, like here's the Capcom show, here's the Quikwix show, and it's da. And you might find that as soon as it returns to somewhat normal, where it's having a big expensive conference and bits like that, you might start seeing these Capcom games and stuff reintegrated into a
Thank you for
bigger,
leaking that I have a show
That-
on E3.
reintegrated into a
but-
bigger like Sony show or something like
Yeah.
that.
But that said, even before COVID, a lot of people were dropping out of E3. Like Sony stopped showing up in person. They would do their like online one instead, right?
And they would do it like
So-
around the same time, but not exactly at the same time because they
So-
still knew like they couldn't compete with other ones, or they didn't want to compete.
So I'm glad E3 is back, but it depends on who is going to show up, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Ultimately, because if they go E3's back, but Microsoft isn't attending, Sony isn't attending, EA's out, Ubisoft's out. It's like, what are we going to
that's
watch?
the thing, right? This is
Just
like
Jeff Keighley again.
Well, this is sending out the invitations, kind of. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
E3's back. It's just, people might just decide to not go.
Yeah.
They might all be cynics like Steve.
Because there was a lot of like, I think people were dropping out because it's like you get no time for your announcement to make an impact if it's followed by, you know, Sony announces something and then it's immediately followed by like 8 other companies announcing their thing, and it's like, isn't it easier if you're Sony to just wait a week, then put out your thing when everyone stops
Yeah.
talking about it? So I can see why they might not be so keen to come straight back, but I just really love E3.
Yeah, I can
It's just enjoy it. It's like a week where we just get together and it's all about games, and I just love it so much.
I can see why they spread it out, but also just give it to me all at once in the span of 5 hours.
yeah. I want to get excited about games that will never come out, but they look really cool.
You might have some of that with Gamescom coming out in August.
It's not the same though.
It's just not the same, man.
It's not the same.
All right, that's that news story. Let's move on to next one. You've got let's get rid of this. There we go. I don't know if any of you watched this, and this is probably going to be a very quick one. But this is Skull and Bones.
I saw some of this. I didn't watch all of it.
So
I got bored midway through the presentation, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't bode well.
so I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the 7-minute trailer dump they put out.
Yeah.
Where it was like, here's what the game is within 7 minutes. It looks okay. I think for a game that's been somewhat underground for ages, to then have a reveal that's kind of like, it looks alright.
The game mechanics for me.
Yeah, it's just the pirate bit of Assassin's Creed, but you don't get to walk around or anything.
Yeah, I think
you don't get to be a pirate.
Well, ultimately, people wanted that, right? They wanted, pirate simulator
mixed in as well.
They wanted pirate simulator. Give me Assassin's Creed. What was it? Black Flag. Without
Great game.
Without the Assassin's Creed shit, and just let me be a pirate. But they've made this instead, which is like
boat simulator.
This looks cool. Now give me the other 2/3 of it, where I'm a cool pirate going around.
Yeah. And then they were showing off the guy driving up to an island, full stopping, and then just holding a button to mine ore. And I was like, what are you doing? What is this?
Also, I think Sea of Thieves, I think, has ruined pirate games as well, because you see it and you're like, oh, can I have my friends on my ship? It's like, no, that ship is yours. No one else can touch it. Well, no one else can come on it. They have to have their own separate ship.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you want to be a pirate together, not like, oh, I've got my pirate crew and here's your pirate crew and let's maybe go.
I don't know. It feels like they just want this game done and out, right? And it was just like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
So as I said, there's not a whole lot to say about this, but I thought it was kind of interesting because it had been sort of buried for such a long time. and it's finally and everyone knew it was around, but it was just hidden away, and now it's reared its head, and people are like, cool.
Maybe they should rebury it.
I can see this.
Maybe they should rebury it and draw a map with an X on it and let you get off your ship and go find the game again.
Yeah,
that's it. Kind of. I can see. Well, everyone I've seen so far has been like, I don't care for this, so I wonder if this will quietly go away again.
Or maybe this will be a Game Pass game, and it'll be like, okay, we can have maybe a little bit of fun on Game Pass.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's got like a big part of the trailer I watched was cosmetics and customization and blah 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 blah, which just screams. I know it's Ubisoft; they do all this stuff anyway, but it screams microtransactions and bits like that. So
game as service,
yeah, games as a service. Yeah, we'll see. That was that one.
We'll see.
Another quick one because there's not really a lot to say about.
Game's been delayed.
Forspoken has been delayed. Who knows what this is?
This is.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
This is Square Enix. It's a female protagonist. She has like kind of cool teleportation-y, like
yes, I remember this.
Deserty powers.
It's an isekai as well. So
you weeb.
Explain
what isekai is now for the non-weebs. Please.
Well, I said it, and then there was like a 2-second gap before you like piled on. I didn't get to talk. It's where someone gets transported. Someone gets transported to another world, basically. So it's like he's in like some fantasy land or something in this, but she's like wearing trainers.
Is this the one where? Sorry, I did it again.
Are you finished?
Fuck it out.
He does it all the time, though.
He's excited for Forspoken. She's jumping around, going like, "Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's a dragon. Oh, what the fuck? Oh."
Yes, yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I kind of hate that, but you do you, I guess. And it's like, yeah, it's really weird because everyone, when you see anything to do with this game, everyone has the same criticism. It's like this protagonist is really annoying, and she's always commenting about how, oh my god, it's a dragon, it's a castle.
I think I've only seen 2 trailers for this, like the original one where it was like, oh, it's just like cool woman, and then in the second one where you do see that she's like, oh, she's from like our world, and then transports to this magical world. And so far, to me, it just looked a bit generic. I feel like we've had this game several times now.
This game
maybe not story-wise, but like gameplay-wise.
It looks and feels like a tech demo gone too far. Did you know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And I thought of Death Stranding.
That game is amazing. It's not a tech demo. It's just a walking simulator. It's not for everyone. But yeah, so it's like they chucked a generic protagonist into a fantasy world and made some new tech for like particles and magic. And then they were like, what if we just made it a game? And didn't realize if they should have or not. They just did.
I kind of see where you're coming from. Yeah.
But yeah, delayed. I assume to add more time for marketing because no one really knows or cares about this game right now. What did you have to say, Will? You kept jumping in.
No, you described it as I was interrupting. He's the one with the dragon. She talks to her wrist or something.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. She talks to her watch or something.
Yeah.
Right. So every news story from here on out is one that Steve posted. So Steve is going to talk about them, aren't you, Steve?
Aren't you, Steve?
Aren't you, Steve?
I looked in depth at all of these. Sure, let's go.
Right. Go on, Steve. Take it away.
Okay, so first one is EA. This was when I feel like it was like last week when everyone was tweeting like, "Oh, he's a 10," but it was a very big meme, and EA was trying to hop on the trend and was like, "He's a 10, but he plays single player games," which caused all the drama and controversy. Because, first of all, people who work for EA who are making single-player games felt targeted by that.
Or they're actively making a Dead Space remake, right? Which is that's one of the next big releases, and that's a single-player game.
And then also it was their multiplayer games are often trash and full of microtransactions that nobody wants, and it was just like a big drama storm. I think they've deleted it, or they try to spin it to be positive, but
Yeah, so here's the tweet. They're at 10, but they only like single player games, and then they put out roast well deserved. Will take this L because playing single player games actually makes them an 11. It's just
Nice.
it's just social
Saved.
media blunders, basically.
Yeah, saved. Big W from me. I don't know. I hate Twitter.
One retweet from me, my guy. But yeah, that was
just like a weird like, oh, company do stupid.
Yeah. That's that one.
Mhm.
You then had next one. Go for it, Steve.
Oh, this one, Ubisoft is taking away online features from some of their older games, apparently to make room for new games or something. I'm not sure, but this is so the list. If you scroll down, sorry, a bit, Josh, I don't have the website up myself. It's like a bunch of older games, but the thing with it that is a bit more iffy is that there's a lot of DLC, like multiplayer only DLC that people have paid for, and there's also one multiplayer exclusive game on this list as well that's basically just going to die. I can't remember what it was.
So one
Space Junkies.
Yeah, Space
Space
Junkies.
Junkies, yeah.
So there's a little update to this that I saw. I think it was today.
Okay.
So Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's the one where you play as like the lady pirate. In like the Black Flag universe. They're not only removing multiplayer and stuff, they're removing the entire game from the Steam store. And even if you own it, you cannot re-download it.
Yeah, that's also like you're losing access to DLC as well because they can't verify if you own it or not, so you won't be able to play any DLC for any of these games.
And a big thing about that was, so they're removing this game. You can't download it, even if you've bought it before. And the big thing that was also kind of gross was it was on sale last week in the Steam sale.
Like
Yeah,
Space
that's not
Junkies
cool.
as well is apparently. I'm not sure if they've changed it now, but apparently it was still on sale. Well, not on sale, but it was still being sold with no notice that it's going down.
Yeah,
I've just gone to the store page and you can't buy it anymore.
Okay, they've changed it now.
Good. Yeah, so it's just a bit gross. This game they had on sale, and it's like I think the story said it was September, this year.
Yeah,
it was being removed, and it's like Jesus Christ. I have no doubt that probably like not a lot of people are buying it, but that's not the point. If it's up for sale,
no, it's not the point.
Yeah,
then
because at the end of the day, right, this is what's going to happen as we move into online games. Is we are going to lose access to games that we've bought. It will take a while, but it is going to happen. So this may be like the first time that like a big amount of games like this goes, but I doubt that these are being played. But
this is the only example I can think of outside of PT.
Or like for me, like online access to Nintendo consoles, like some of the older ones.
Well, the Wii shop went down for a while, right?
Wii shop's gone now. The original DS shop is gone. So you for example, I can't do online trading with Pokemon anymore for like Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
There was the problem with that, which was like with the DS eShop and bits like that. It's like you're saying, like, oh, I can't trade my Pokemon, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other.
You can trade them with Pokemon Bank, but
not to belittle that, but there are a high number of indie games that were made and released only for those eShops, and outside of piracy, they are now gone forever. There is no way. There is no way to legitimately get those games.
Yeah, this is why like games companies need to like work on. I think there are like companies that are trying to like keep these games available, so they're not. You don't have games that just die off that you can never play anymore. Like
it's important, history and just for history.
That's why
of
we
the
build
industry.
libraries,
exactly,
and stuff like that.
And one thing that
important,
I find weird about this is there where you're going to lose access to the DLC. Why would they not just update all these games and give just free access to the DLC at this point, rather than being like, oh, you won't be able to play it.
Well, ultimately, it's server space, right? I imagine that's what.
Yeah, where I guess that stuff didn't come with the original game. They're not going to support storing that data anymore. I guess
it's not a lot of server space, I imagine, but it's still just like, again, it's not the point. But I'm sure if you look at a lot of these games internally at Ubisoft and be like, there's like 20 people playing this game.
But like the multiplayer access, I can understand, because with any multiplayer game, you kind of have to think at some point there's always new games coming out. You know, multiplayer games are generally best at launch or close after launch, and then like that's like a limited time experience.
Yeah.
Like even with like League of Legends, you playing over the years has been a different experience every season because the game changes, and you can't really expect to go back to like that season 1, season 2 gameplay. But like the DLC is like that. I'm not sure. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game, but like I assume that's like story based and stuff, and you're losing access.
I think some of it is. A lot of DLC is cosmetic as well.
Oh, okay.
There's bits and pieces. I'm not going to say with confidence because I don't entirely remember, but
yeah,
there might be the odd DLC here and there. But again, a lot of it is just
It's
nice.
a shame more than anything. It's like there should be a workaround for this by now. I feel like, but
I feel like they have a duty, no matter what it costs, to at least they should preserve their own games, right? It's their own games. It's their own,
are they not
their
like
legacy?
Are they not proud of these?
Yeah, they're not proud
products?
of what they make.
Yeah.
It's an odd one. It's a weird one. But yeah, so
the only thing I can think of for some of these is are they thinking let's remaster Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, and
I think that might have been tied to the Liberation one, where they were removing one version of it, which again they were selling, but you can play it in another remastered version, but the remastered version isn't very good, which is sometimes the case.
Companies do remasters justice, like. Come on, there's been so many bad remasters.
Yeah, but you say it like it's like we joke and be like, oh, it should be a slam dunk, but it's never as easy as that.
Game dev is game dev. It's hard. It's
true.
Never...
And then taking something that is beloved and then staying true to that.
Yeah. How much do you change? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always of the opinion of if it's a remaster, just take the assets, up-res them if you can. Make it for modern aspect ratios and leave it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe make one or two that quality of life changes, maybe.
But even that, like now you're making changes. Even things like up-resing art is a change in itself, Like you look at the Halo remaster, a lot of people don't like what that studio did when they changed all of the textures and things, because it's like, oh, this level feels completely different. The geometry is all the same, but because of the art, the level feels completely different.
If you take an old game and do anything other than up-res the assets, you're remaking it, because you're remaking content, right?
Yeah.
It might be a shit remake because you hardly remade anything.
What if there's shit that was just broken? Then you're like, well, why don't we just fix that? It's like, why wouldn't you?
It is tricky. Because you're completely right. Because I would be personally, if I played a game that was remastered and it still had a game-breaking bug in it from the PS1 version,
you'd be mad.
I'd be mad. Yeah. Why they not make it?
Or if they were like, there's like a section which everyone hated, which like maybe could have done one or two changes, but it's like, oh, they kept it in this annoying section, like a cutscene you can't skip, for example, or something.
Yeah.
It's a fine line, isn't it, between what you do and what you don't do. But as I think, looping back around, the thing we were getting to is it's not as simple as sometimes it's made out to be.
It is nowhere near as simple as it's made out to be.
So get your Silent Hunter 5 multiplayer matches in now, guys, because it's going.
All three of you.
The funny one is Space Junkies came out 2019. I'm there like, mate, that's not 10 years ago like some of these other ones.
You want to know why, Sam?
No.
VR only game.
He said no. All right, I'm moving on from this. Next one, Steve.
Okay. The next one is Heroes of the Storm is dead again.
Oh,
who revived it?
no, really?
No, they put out basically saying because before Heroes of the Storm they said they were going into they removed most of the
Maintenance
devs
mode.
and they were going into maintenance mode. This was before previously they were like, oh, we're just gonna have a team that's you're not really gonna get any more heroes, but we're gonna do patches and changes and like stuff. And they've been doing that slowly, but now they've put out saying like, oh yeah, this is going the way of StarCraft. And we're just gonna have it as like 1 or 2 devs, like not even you. Basically, they've had the final patch unless there's anything really game breaking, and they're just letting it die again.
It'll be a couple of guys' job to twice a week on a Monday and a Thursday to turn the game on and make sure it still runs. And if it does,
just lift up the hood and check it's not on fire, and then put it back down. Yeah, but I just thought this was a little sad because it's like, Here's the Storm. It did have a lot of faults, but it did have some great mechanics.
Easily my favorite MOBA.
I have a lot of fond memories of Heroes of the Storm.
I think it probably is mine as well. Yeah,
it's like this article. Well, it's not article. It's their own blog post. It confirms basically, I think, what everyone already knew, but it's kind of sad seeing it in writing because I don't think you'll ever get anything like this out of Blizzard ever again. I think that's it.
Unless it's on mobile.
Unless it's
heavily monetized.
I don't think you'll ever get a Heroes of the Storm 2. I think this is their attempt at it, and it was successful. I would argue it did quite well, but not
they did
as
not
as well as they wanted.
A launch as well.
No, yeah, I think that's the big thing. They pushed for the esports, right, and that didn't kick off as much as they wanted.
Yeah,
and then they just dropped it straight away.
I refuse to believe that if they didn't lower their expectations, this game could still be ticking along with a healthy player
They wanted
base.
League and Dota, which is impossible.
Exactly.
It should be. It's like this should be the game you play once you're done with Dota for the evening, and you're like, "Fuck, I hate Dota. I'm gonna go play some Heroes of the Storm because it's way more chill." Yeah.
Well, again, it kind of annoys me. It's going back to what you just said about Ubisoft and having like pride. Like, even if it doesn't make all the money, it still makes money.
Yeah,
why not keep this cool thing that's a celebration to all of your own franchises? Running doesn't have to make $1 trillion.
Yeah, you'll still be able to play it, but it's just they could have done like Overwatch. They've only added like 2 Overwatch heroes.
Yeah, why does Overwatch get another go?
Well, it's like I said. I if you keep a small dev team on this. And keep advertising, ticking along at a minimum. Put out, YouTube videos and stuff for it on their own channel. Make cosmetics.
What they did.
Oh yeah, but like, surely that must be recouping.
They didn't add any new heroes though.
It's like if you're hardly making anything, it must be recouping the cost of cosmetics. I don't know. I just feel
the biggest sad thing for me is there was an old Warcraft 3 player who was a StarCraft 2 player called Grubby.
Good old Grubby.
Who moved to Heroes of the Storm. And he still, to this day, streams and puts content out for this game. And I see it, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. And then all of his other tweets are like, yeah, we're trying to keep the community alive, guys. But, like, what can you do? Their community is so small now. Because why would players stick around?
It sucks to be a Blizzard RTS fan. Like him or like content creator. Because you just jump from one sinking ship to another. and now when Heroes of the Storm goes down, there is no other Blizzard franchise.
Well, hold on now. Mobile game coming out soon, right?
Oh, Clash of Clans or Clash of Thrall, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, you got it. That was brilliant. That was great. Nailed that one. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame.
He needs to hope that there's just enough content to squeeze out with this before Stormgate comes out. That's close enough.
I mean, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But
he'll be fine. Thank God.
It's he'll be fine. It's everyone else.
Yeah.
What about me, Sam?
Big time streamer.
I'm not fine.
Will he can go into variety and stuff. But man, I am gonna miss this game when it eventually goes.
I mean, we can still play it. Like if you guys want, we could load it up right now.
I don't want to play it. I want to be sad.
Yeah, here's the thing: is you'll play it, and then imagine if you played 5 games. How many of those games do you think you'll run into the same people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers for this game.
Steve
so,
will be
yeah.
on my team every time. I don't know if I can handle that.
Fuck you.
I already remember, Steve. There was one time many years ago where we were just queuing randomly, and you were on the enemy team,
I do not remember this.
and I was just there, just like, what are the fucking chances?
Well, I get
I
around.
lost that
okay?
game, Steve. You won. I
Oh.
remember that to this day.
Like that,
I'm good
that,
at games. You heard it here.
That doesn't sound like Steve.
Shut up.
that astronaut meme. Like Steve's an enemy, always was.
Yeah,
Right, last news story, last of the night.
Oh,
I'm looking
okay.
forward to Steve reading this one. Jesus.
Okay, so this one is basically some Final Fantasy XIV fans in America have hired billboards for their not safe for work nightclub in game, and have used official like Final Fantasy XIV logos, data mined outfits, and put their Twitch streams up on this billboard, and it is being memed the shit out of, like people putting their own spins on it. This is very questionable
Ooh.
legally because they're using.
I was going to say, if they're just getting memed, they've survived, because that's...
Oh no, yeah, but no, I don't think they will survive.
yeah, that's what
but-
I was thinking.
But for those who don't know, Final Fantasy XIV devs are very protective of Final Fantasy XIV. If they think people are playing in not a way they want, like there have been, because this game is very RP heavy. Well, a lot of people like to RP in Final Fantasy XIV.
All the bunny boys and bunny girls.
There are like mods for Final Fantasy XIV, like nudie mods, which they really try to crack down on. But like, if they see a picture on Twitter of a nude Final Fantasy XIV character, like in game with in-game assets, they will find your character in game and ban you. They do not like any mods.
Ban you.
Ban you.
Oh, ban.
Not bang. Shut up.
and they're trying to crank down on this. You say?
Yeah, they do not like any, like, there's damage meter mods which they're kind of like, they're like, we're fine with it as long as you do not show that. There have been Twitch streamers who have damage meters up on their stream.
I've heard about
they
this.
have been banned in game as well.
You get put in jail, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
They teleport you to like an empty room and then talk to you like like you've been there, like a
At least
prison warden.
on that though, I do kind of understand their outlook on that matter specifically.
Because they don't want, well, and the rule is with the game, like the unspoken rule is it's fine as long as you do not point out to anyone in game their numbers. Like, you're not allowed to tell someone you're doing shit damage wise. You just, step it up. You're not allowed to do that. It's only for like your own eyes only sort of thing. But so players who have advertising with official stuff, and also they hate data mining as well. Final Fantasy XIV says, because our game is so story based, please do not data mine. Do not post any data mine stuff. And these billboards are using outfits that have been data mined from the game.
I feel like it's weird as well, because you say it's like a not safe for work thing, but nothing about this billboard implies that. I feel like
apparently it's like,
if I saw this out of curiosity, I'd be like, what the fuck? And then I'd go straight to it. Probably I'd go straight to the Twitch stream and be like, what is going on?
Yeah, it looks like Square Enix are officially like promoting this, when it's like, nope, that's not. So that's very, like, I watch a couple of like legal YouTubers and they are all like, oh, what's wrong with this, like, and saying like,
this is getting hit with something. This ain't escaping.
People going to jail either in game or in real life.
So how was it, Steve?
I don't think they'll be jail.
I haven't.
Okay, Steve.
But sure, sure. DM me
this is
later.
also getting numbers, because Final Fantasy XIV now have cross-region travel. So if you're a Europe player, you can travel to like American servers or Asian servers with your character. So yeah, everyone can go. So that's why it's probably, even if they get in legal trouble, might do them very well for their streams. Or I feel like
I'm gonna
I don't think any amount of stream exposure is gonna save them from a lawsuit, to be honest.
True.
I feel like
my subs are up this month, but I'm getting sued into oblivion.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in legal trouble just looking at this billboard.
I bet you're right.
Just say this is the most Steve news story we've ever had.
Well, I saw the news and it was like quite light, and so I was like, I'll find a few news stories. And I was like, well, this one, I was like, maybe Josh can use a cat girl for the thumbnail.
This one
Nice.
was sandwiched in the middle of all of them, but I put it right at the end. I thought I'd let Steve explain himself out of this one before we laugh and leave.
Yeah, that's the news this week, other than like a few releases.
Well, hang on a minute. Are you hosting now?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's
yeah,
good.
So that's the news this week. Steve, do you want to
Yeah.
do next week's releases?
Anyway, so that's the news.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the news.
So for releases tomorrow, which will be the day after, like it will already be out for you podcast listeners. We have Neon Blight.
Wait,
Hang on a minute.
Neon White?
No, Neon Blight. I only
That's
mentioned this one
unfortunate.
You did
because
this
of the name.
You did this to fuck with me.
I did. The only reason I'm not sure what this game is, but I was like, it's got the same
Oh
name.
yeah, this looks like a real banger.
Yeah, next one.
Next one, let's have a look. We have Rune Factory 5 is coming to PC on July 13th.
I'll be picking that up at some point.
This is Rune Factory. I've never played one, but it's meant to be like Harvest Moon meets like magical fighting as
Looks
well.
like a fucking PSP game.
Yep.
Well,
The
it's a Switch game.
pre-purchase, the pre-order DLC is bathing suits for your characters.
Oh,
Would
Can you
like to
scroll
know
down
what
there?
kind
Doing
of
it right
game
now.
this is?
Oh, okay. They look like children. No, I'm out.
Yeah, he looks like he's 9 years old.
Japan, please stop that.
Right, so Steve's buying this as we speak. Next one.
No, I'm not. Next one is a game that looked a bit interesting to me called Necrosmith. This game it's a game where you like kind of build your own characters, but it seemed a bit like Vampire Survivor meets maybe a little bit of RTS with like going around claiming buildings.
Looks interesting.
Yeah, like your character you can just walk about and have it auto, but you can also take control of your character as well and like aim where they're firing and stuff. But
There's a
it just
demo.
because
I'm gonna play that.
just because Necrolord, like again, I just saw this literally while I was looking at the things. I was like, oh, that's an interesting title. Looked at it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks a bit like Vampire Survivors ish. So, but like rather than it's got like a map you actually travel around on,
Yeah.
rather than it being like spammed.
Interesting. Like a fog of war kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Got
that
that demo. I'll see how that is.
Yeah,
that one.
demo.
This game's already out, but on the 14th, Power Wash Simulator is coming to Xbox Game Pass, which I'm
Ooh,
quite excited for.
That's a
that-
good Zen game. That is a
that-
really good
Yeah.
Zen
Yeah,
game.
that is a game which everyone seems to love. Like out of all the simulator games, Power Wash Simulator is like the top one, I would say, at the moment.
There's a whole part of YouTube that's just people
Yes.
power washing stuff, and they have like tens of millions of views.
So satisfying. I can't
And like it
help
gets like some really big updates. It's been updated several times, I know. And there's like multiplayer in it as well, so you can spray each other and
Uh-huh.
okay. And then the final game that's coming out is called Ultimate Muscle Roller Championship.
He's waiting for me to get a picture before he says anything.
Oh yeah.
Son of a bitch. What the
don't know.
fuck is this?
Oh, you have been trolled.
It's-
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
Wait, no, I have to explain it. It's men in bikinis racing or something, racing on top of other men who are also in bikinis.
Steve, we will take this segment away from you.
Yeah, don't push your luck.
Yeah.
So I had to.
Oh, the
I was like, I saw the thumbnail.
The tags, it's funny, dark fantasy, story-rich racing action. we
Sounds like
are
a winner.
we are done here. You got any more, Steve? Because I'm done.
No, that's it. That's it.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Steve has ruined the upcoming games section of the podcast, so he won't get another one next week.
Oh, you'll be there's some good games coming out. Like Stray is out next week.
That's the cat with a backpack
That game. Mm-hmm.
which is a platformer or an action game.
It's a something I have not paid attention
I
to.
feel like there's a
but
gameplay trailer, and I still have no clue what it is.
I know some people are going to stream it, so I'm like, I'll watch that.
Are you one of them?
No, I'm not going to be playing
I'm
this.
playing Necrosmith. Sam, this is an idle game.
Sam,
I mean,
Sam
well-
can't hear you. He's already playing. He's already gone. But yeah, are we done here?
I
Anyone
can
else got
wait.
anything, anyone
Yeah,
else
we're
got anything
done.
else to throw out?
No, I'm good.
My
Stay
opinion.
cool, everybody.
Yeah, I'm
it's
sorry.
fucking hot.
I'm sorry for the lack of enthusiasm. It is so fucking
It
hot
is
right
so
now.
hot. And it's only going to get hotter.
Oh, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I might just die.
I might just die.
I might
Yeah,
just-
if I'm not back next week, it's because I have died of heat exhaustion.
Can
I'm
I
sorry.
take over the podcast?
Don't be sad.
Sure.
Don't be sad that I have died. It was of my own choice because it was too hot.
I walked into the sea and never came back. Yeah.
yeah. Should we do our socials and wrap it up?
Okay.
Okay, thanks for listening, everybody. If you've made it this far, as always, we'll check out our socials now. You can find me. I'm at BottlerWorks on Twitch and Twitter. I do the odd occasional Twitch stream. I did a surprise one the other evening. That was quite fun. I did House Flipper. That's pretty good. Where can we find you, William?
I am Olivemeister or _ Oh. just go to Steve.
And Steve?
Hi, I'm Quikwix on all social media. That's QIKWIX. And this week tonight I'm gonna put out a schedule for the week, so you can check that out on my Discord.
Ooh. And Sam?
Mm-hmm.
He's playing his idle game.
Yeah, no, I'm Sam.
All right, thank you for listening, everybody. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.